Hello, Assalamualaikum everyone. Today I will make my first video on Delft 3D. Delft 3D is a software for hydrodynamic modeling. Basically, the software works with grids. Making the grids is the main task in this software. To make the task, we need the river shapefile. So basically in the first tutorial I will show you how to prepare the grids, because making the grids is the most toughest work in this modeling, and then we will give the data and boundary in the upstream of the river and downstream in the river, and then we will run the model. So at first, this is the software interface of Delft 3D. Here we can see that we have a tab saying select working directory. We will select a folder, like the Delft is a folder uh, as the working directory. Then we can see this grid tab. Here we have our GS grid. Here we will create the grid. To create the grid, we need the shapefile of the river. So we will have to prepare the shapefile of the river. The thing is, the shapefile, we cannot bring the shapefile in the model in SHP form. To change it into LDB form, we have to go in the return tab and then open the utilities. Here we have quick plot. We will check in the quick plot. We have to convert the SHP file into LDB file to bring it in the interface. For that we need this quick plot tab. Here we will open the river shape file sugandha.shp. um, it is taking time because I'm making the tutorial through using it in VirtualBox, because I have Sobek installed in my PC. So the Sobek and Delft3D both works with the same license, Delta license from Netherlands. So it is not possible to run both the softwares in one operator. So I have to use VirtualBox. Okay, it is taking time to bring the river shape file. Let's try. Okay, the river shape file is here. In the export file type, I will check into land boundary file, and then I will check in export data. In this land boundary folder, I will save it as sugandha.ldb. That's all. So now we can close this quick plot tab. Okay, in this land boundary folder we can see that we have sugandha.ldb. Now in this grid creating interface, uh, here we will go to file, and here is attribute file. There we will open the land boundary, open land boundary. Here I will bring my LDB file, sugandha.ldb. Here I can see the shape file of the Sugandha river. So this is to mark that we cannot bring the shape file in the software. We have to convert it into LDB file, then we can bring it in the software. Now to create the grid, at first I have to make the splines. So we'll go to edit option, and then we will click to new. To make the grids we have to be very careful, because there are some properties like the orthogonality will be 0.06, the aspect ratio will be 2. So in that case we have to be very careful in making the grid. So if I want to check the floodplain, we can draw the river bank just outside of the river, and if we don't want to analyze the floodplain part, we can draw the grids just with the river bank. So I will take a little space behind the river bank so that I can see some changes in the floodplain. um, I guess I can start drawing this line. I will try to keep it just beside the river bank. We have to be very careful so that the splines we make, the grids in the splines should be square shaped, so that in our aspect ratio will be in 2. If it is rectangular size, if it is in rectangular shape, then we'll see that the aspect ratio will cross 2. I will make my splines. The grid making is the toughest part in the 3D modeling, because uh, it is very necessary in the analysis and the model output. If I click right, then it will just go whether I want to take the splines, and right with the left click I will stop making the splines. Then I will go to make new splines and cover this side of the river. In these bends, it is very difficult to keep the aspect ratio in 2, because most of the bends it creates a rectangular shape in case of beads. Now I have created the splines in the border. Now I will make the grids to the splines. We will try to make it what can I say, a square shape. Okay. If we want to make the splines more accurate and the grids to the splines more small, then we can use more lines. That's not a big deal. So I can finish my spline here and create the grids, or if I want I can make the splines more accurate, or so I will create another line here. So getting this spline, I can see most of the boxes are becoming rectangles, so I have to create another lines in between so that comes in the square shape again. So work is very tedious making the grids, but once you have made the grids correctly, then the other modeling parts is very easy. Now I have to make the lines in between. Yeah, one, so I can see this is a square now. If you want, you don't need to make so much lines. You can just use in the boundaries. But the more spline you make, the more accurate the grid will be. Actually, I myself just learning this software from a colleague of mine, but this is a very interesting software, so I want to make a project with it so that I can also be in practice. Now I have made the splines. What we need to do, we have to save the splines first. Okay. Let's see this. Let's save the project. Name it Shubhamdha. Then about the splines, in the attribute files, there goes save spline. Name it Shubhamdha. Here create another folder named spline, because you can create multiple splines which works better, so it will be easier if you create a folder named splines and save it as Shubhamdha 1. Now we will change the splines to grid. So here we will go to operations. I will click on change splines into grid. We can see that the grids are created, but we need more accurate grids. So in the settings, we will go to general. Here we can select how much grids we need. Okay, so here is 3 3, we can make it 10 10. Then we have to run the operation again, change lines into grid. Okay, here you can see the grids. I guess we could make it more, like 25 25. Then I'll go to operation and change lines into grid. Now it's looking good. To see the aspect ratio, what we need to do, go to view, in grid property, and check aspect ratio. Here you can see that our maximum is 14.594, but we have to keep all the aspect ratios in between 2. So what can we do in the cases of more than 2, right? So you have to put some effort here. You will zoom the model and check the aspect ratio in every node. Okay, uh, you can see the colors here. For the red color, it is showing 3.47. Okay, I need it to make it, so this is grid move point. By moving the grids, I can change the aspect ratio. Like here in the red node, the aspect ratio is more than 2. We can click the node and just move it. It is becoming blue, that means the value is lowering. So by clicking these nodes, you can change the value. Okay, so these nodes were more than 2. By moving them, I'm just giving them aspect ratio of 2, because you can see these rectangles are not a square shape, these are rectangles basically, that's why the aspect ratio is more than 2. It's not necessary to be a square, because a square have an aspect ratio of 1. We can consider rectangles too, but not large ones. Okay, so that's how clicking the nodes you can change the aspect ratio. This is a very tedious work. You have to click every node where you can see the aspect ratio more than 2. Okay, now see, before when we are zooming this part, we could see the aspect ratio more than 3, but by moving the points, it has come in the range of 2. Okay, 1.9. So I guess this will be a lengthy process, zooming every part and see where the aspect ratio is more than 2 and change it. So this will be your homework actually. I guess you can try it at home. This is my part of making the grid. In next tutorial I will show you how to bring the bathymetry data and interpolate them. So till then, thank you.